Good evening, everyone. Let's start with a simple but profound truth. You are not late. I know that feeling of being behind creeps in sometimes. Maybe you're scrolling through your phone, seeing people your age or younger, launching startups, buying homes, or getting married, and you think, I'm falling behind. But let me tell you, that's a trap. Your life isn't running on someone else's clock. Your timeline is yours alone, and it's not broken. It's just different. We live in a world obsessed with milestones. Society hands us an invisible stopwatch, the moment we're old enough to understand ambition. Graduate by 22, land a dream job by 25, buy a house by 30, start a family, get promoted, retire by 60. It's as if life is a race, and if you're not hitting these markers on schedule, you're failing. But life doesn't work that way. You're not a product rolling off an assembly line, expected to look and function like everyone else. You're a unique individual with a path that's entirely your own. Think about it. Some people discover their passion at 18, while others find it at 48. Some make their first million in their 20s, while others rebuild after failing multiple times and hit their stride at 50. The people who seem ahead might burn out or pivot entirely, while those who start slower often move with clarity and purpose when their moment comes. Your pace isn't a flaw, it's your power. The problem isn't that you're late, it's that you're comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. This comparison is fueled by a culture that glorifies speed. Social media bombards us with images of success. Someone's new car, someone's promotion, someone's perfect life. It's easy to feel like you're missing out, like you need to rush to catch up. But rushing often leads to mistakes, burnout, or chasing goals that don't even align with who you are. Instead of running someone else's race, focus on your own rhythm. Your journey might be quieter, steadier, but that doesn't mean it's less extraordinary. Let's look at history for perspective. People like Colonel Sanders didn't start KFC until he was in his 60s. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. These aren't exceptions. They're proof that success doesn't follow a universal timeline. What matters isn't when you arrive, but how prepared you are when you get there. Preparation comes from showing up for your own life, day after day, even when the world feels noisy and chaotic. The pressure to keep up can be overwhelming, but it's often self-imposed. When you feel behind, ask yourself, behind what? Behind who? The only race you're in is with yourself. Every step you take, every skill you learn, every challenge you face builds the foundation for your future. The world might tell you to hurry, but wisdom tells you to grow. Growth takes time, and time is your ally, not your enemy. Imagine two runners. One sprints out of the gate, exhausting themselves before the halfway mark. The other paces themselves, steady and focused, crossing the finish line stronger. Life is more like a marathon than a sprint. Your steady progress, your commitment to your own path, will carry you further than any rushed attempt to match someone else's speed. So, how do you embrace your unique timeline? Start by letting go of the stopwatch. Stop measuring your life against arbitrary milestones. Instead, focus on what you're building right now. Are you learning? Are you growing? Are you moving towards something that matters to you? If the answer is yes, you're exactly where you need to be. This doesn't mean you should sit back and do nothing. It means you should act with intention, not desperation. Take the course, read the book, have the tough conversation, make the mistake. Each of these moments is a step forward, even if it doesn't look like progress to the outside world. The quiet, steady work you do today is what prepares you for the extraordinary places you'll go tomorrow. Let's also talk about patience. Patience isn't about waiting passively. It's about trusting the process. It's about understanding that every season of your life has a purpose. Your 20s might be about exploration, your 30s about building, your 40s about refining. There's no right age for success, only the right mindset. When you trust your own timing, you free yourself from the anxiety of comparison. You start to see your life as a story unfolding, not a checklist to complete. The beauty of your unique timeline is that it allows you to arrive prepared. When your moment comes, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a dream, you'll be ready not because you rushed, but because you took the time to grow into the person who could handle it. So, let go of the idea that you're late. You're not. You're on your own schedule, and that's not a weakness. It's your strength. Pressure is a universal experience. Whether it's in school, work, relationships, or personal goals, we all feel it at some point. It's the weight of expectations, the tension of deadlines, the fear of falling short. But here's the truth: pressure isn't your enemy. It's a sign you're doing something that matters. It's a signal you're growing, stepping outside your comfort zone, and moving toward possibility. The key is learning to stand in pressure without letting it crush you. Think about lifting weights. When you push against resistance, your muscles feel strain. That tension is what makes them stronger. The same principle applies to your mind, your spirit, your ambition. Pressure, when handled right, becomes your training ground. It shapes you, sharpens you, and builds resilience. But there's a critical difference between pressure and panic. Pressure is natural, part of the process. Panic is what happens when you let the weight overwhelm you, convincing you that everything must be perfect right now or you're doomed. Panic clouds your thinking. It pushes you to rush decisions, to doubt yourself, to see failure as final. But pressure is an opportunity. It's a chance to test your strength, to learn how to stay calm in the storm. The urgency you feel is often emotional, not real. It's the noise of self-doubt, comparison, or fear of judgment. When you learn to breathe through it, to slow down just enough to stay focused, you discover your power. Let's break this down. Pressure shows up in many forms: a tight deadline, a difficult conversation, a high-stakes opportunity. Each of these moments challenges you to rise to the occasion. But if you panic, you lose clarity. You might freeze, make hasty choices, or give up entirely. Instead, imagine approaching pressure like a skilled athlete approaches a game. They feel the nerves, but they channel them into focus. They don't eliminate the pressure, they use it. How do you do this? First, recognize that pressure is temporary. The deadline will pass, the conversation will end, the opportunity will resolve. By focusing on the present moment, what can you do right now? You take control. Second, reframe pressure as growth. When you feel that tightness in your chest, remind yourself, this is me getting stronger. This is me learning how to handle bigger things. Consider a real-world example. Entrepreneurs often face immense pressure. Financial risks, public scrutiny, the uncertainty of success. Those who thrive don't avoid pressure, they lean into it. They break problems into manageable steps, seek advice, and keep moving forward. They understand that pressure is part of the journey, not a sign they're failing. This mindset shift is crucial because pressure never really goes away. As you grow, the stakes change. A student's pressure to pass an exam becomes a professional's pressure to lead a team, which becomes a leader's pressure to steer an organization. The challenges evolve, but the skill of standing tall in pressure remains the same. You don't need to eliminate it. You need to learn how to balance it. Balancing pressure starts with small habits. Practice deep breathing when stress hits. Write down your thoughts to clear your mind. Break tasks into smaller, actionable steps. These tools help you stay grounded, turning pressure from a burden into a catalyst. Over time, you'll find that what once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. You'll start to see pressure as a signal that you're pushing your limits, not a sentence to failure. Another key is perspective. When you're under pressure, it's easy to feel like the world is watching, judging your every move. But most people are too focused on their own lives to notice your struggles. This realization can be liberating. It frees you to focus on your own progress, not external expectations. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. Let's also talk about failure, because pressure often comes with the fear of falling short. Failure isn't the end, it's feedback. Each misstep teaches you something about your approach, your skills, or your timing. The most successful people don't avoid failure, they study it. They ask, what can I learn from this? And use the answers to improve. When you see failure as a teacher, pressure becomes less about avoiding mistakes and more about embracing growth. Ultimately, transforming pressure into power is about choice. You can choose to let pressure paralyze you, or you can choose to let it propel you. The difference lies in how you respond. Do you panic and retreat, or do you breathe, focus, and act? Every time you choose the latter, you build a little more resilience, a little more confidence, a little more strength. So, The next time you feel pressure, don't run from it. Stand in it. Let it sharpen you like a blade against a whetstone. You don't have to enjoy it, but you can use it. Because when you learn to handle pressure without losing your balance, you unlock a power that carries you through any challenge life throws your way. In today's fast-paced world, there's an obsession with earning, landing the high-paying job, starting the profitable business, achieving financial success as early as possible. It's easy to feel like if you're not making big money by a certain age, you're falling behind. But here's a truth that often gets overlooked: learning always comes before earning. Not just in time, but in value, in impact, in sustainability. Your 20s and often your 30s are not just about making money. They're about building a foundation. The skills you develop, the habits you form, the failures you endure, the people you learn from. All of these are the roots that will support your future growth. The deeper those roots, the taller you'll stand when your moment comes. Chasing money too early, without the knowledge or experience to sustain it, often leads to burnout or breakdown. But chasing growth, focusing on understanding how things work, how people think, how to solve problems, sets you up for lasting success. This is especially true in an age of constant comparison. Social media shows us the highlight reels: someone driving a luxury car at 25, buying a house at 27, or retiring at 35. It's tempting to think, I need that now. But what you don't see is the years of work behind the scenes, the debt they might carry, the stress they endure, or the shortcuts they took that may not last. Don't let someone else's curated success make you abandon your process. The real currency isn't money, it's skill. The real value is wisdom. When you prioritize learning, you become someone the world pays attention to, someone the world pays well. This isn't about checking boxes or collecting degrees. It's about staying curious, asking questions, and embracing the messy process of growth. The internship you take, the mentor you learn from, the mistakes you make, all of these are investments in your mind, which yield returns far greater than any quick financial win. Let's consider an example. Many of the world's most successful entrepreneurs didn't start with money. They started with knowledge. They studied their industries, learned from failures, and built networks of people smarter than them. Take someone like Oprah Winfrey, who spent years honing her craft in local media before becoming a global icon. Her early years weren't about earning big. They were about learning how to connect, communicate, and create value. That foundation made her success inevitable. This mindset requires patience, which is hard in a world that glorifies instant results. But patience doesn't mean sitting still. It means trusting that every step you take is building something bigger. It means taking the low-paying job that teaches you skills, working under someone who challenges you, or spending time mastering a craft even when it doesn't pay off immediately. These choices compound over time, creating a foundation that's unshakable. Contrast this with the pursuit of quick money. Shortcuts might get you a flashy win, but without the skills to back it up, it's fragile. You might land a high-paying job before you're ready, only to struggle under the pressure. Or you might start a business without understanding the market, only to see it collapse. Money earned without knowledge is like a house built on sand. It won't last. So how do you prioritize learning? Start by embracing curiosity. Ask the dumb questions. Read books outside your comfort zone. Seek out mentors who push you to think differently. Make mistakes and learn from them. Every failure is a lesson. Every challenge a chance to grow. When you focus on building your skills and understanding, you're not just preparing for success. You're ensuring it's sustainable. Another key is to redefine success. It's not about how much you earn today. It's about how much you're growing. Are you better today than you were yesterday? Are you solving harder problems, communicating more effectively, or thinking more strategically? These are the metrics that matter. Money will come, not as a reward for rushing, but as a result of readiness. This approach also protects you from the trap of comparison. When you see someone else's success, remind yourself that their journey isn't yours. Their wins don't diminish your progress. Instead of feeling envious, ask what you can learn from them. Study their habits, their decisions, their resilience. Let their success inspire you to keep building your own foundation. Ultimately, learning over earning is about playing the long game. It's about understanding that the work you do now, however small it seems, is planting seeds for a future harvest. The books you read, the skills you hone, the relationships you build, these are the assets that no one can take away. And when the time comes, those assets will pay dividends, not just in money, but in confidence, impact, and fulfillment. So, don't rush to earn at the expense of learning. Take the time to grow, to understand, to prepare. Because those who learn early, even if they earn later, always go further. Rejection is one of life's most uncomfortable experiences. Whether it's a job you didn't get, a relationship that didn't work out, or a dream that fell through, rejection stings. It feels personal, like a judgment on your worth, a door slammed shut. But here's the truth: rejection is not your enemy. It's one of your greatest teachers. When viewed with the right mindset, rejection becomes a mirror, reflecting where you are, where you need to grow, and how to close the gap between the two. In the moment, rejection feels like failure. It's easy to internalize a no as proof that you're not good enough, not ready, not wanted. But that's just the emotional response talking, not the reality. Rejection doesn't mean you're unworthy. It means there's something to learn, a skill to sharpen, or a path to adjust. Every no is feedback. Whether it's clear, you need more experience, or subtle, you're great, but not the right fit here. The question is, will you let rejection discourage you, or will you let it develop you? The most successful people in the world didn't avoid rejection. They embraced it. They studied it, learned from it, and used it to get better. Consider J.K. Rowling, whose Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by multiple publishers before becoming a global phenomenon. Each rejection taught her something about persistence, about refining her pitch, about believing in her vision. Instead of stopping, she adapted. That's the power of rejection. It forces you to confront your weaknesses and grow stronger. Rejection also builds emotional resilience. Every time you hear a no and choose not to collapse, you prove to yourself that you can keep going. You start to fear failure less, realizing that the world doesn't end when someone turns you down. Over time, this resilience becomes a superpower. It allows you to take risks, to try new things, to keep pushing forward even when the odds seem stacked against you. Let's look at how rejection works in practice. Imagine applying for a job and getting turned down. Your first instinct might be to feel defeated, to question your abilities. But what if you paused and asked, what can I learn from this? Maybe your resume needs work, or your interview skills could improve. Maybe the role wasn't the right fit, and the rejection is redirecting you to something better. By analyzing the no, you turn it into a roadmap for improvement. This mindset shift is critical because rejection is inevitable. If you're pursuing anything meaningful, a career, a creative project, a relationship, you will face rejection. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is how they respond. Do you see rejection as a dead end or as a detour to a better destination? The latter perspective opens doors you didn't even know existed. Sometimes, rejection protects you. It might steer you away from a job that would have burned you out, a relationship that wasn't healthy, or a path that didn't align with your true purpose. Other times, it forces you to sharpen your tools, your skills, your approach, your mindset. And sometimes, it simply means you need to keep knocking on doors until the right one opens. But in every case, rejection has something to teach you if you're willing to listen. How do you turn rejection into resilience? Start by reframing it. Instead of seeing a no as a personal attack, see it as information. Ask yourself, what can I improve? What did this experience teach me? Next, take action. Use the feedback to refine your approach, whether it's rewriting your resume, practicing your pitch, or learning a new skill. Finally, keep perspective. One rejection doesn't define you. It's just one moment in a much larger journey. It's also important to normalize rejection. The more you face it, the less it scares you. Think of it like training for a sport. Each practice session makes you stronger, even if it's uncomfortable. Over time, you'll find that rejection doesn't shake you the way it used to. You'll start to see it as part of the process, not proof of your inadequacy. Another key is to separate your worth from the outcome. A rejection doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means that particular opportunity wasn't the right fit at that moment. Your value lies in your effort, your growth, your persistence. When you internalize this, rejection loses its power to define you. Instead, it becomes a tool for building you. Ultimately, rejection is a teacher, not a punishment. It's a chance to grow, to adapt, to become the person who's ready for the yes when it comes. So, don't let rejection stop you. Let it strengthen you. Because every no you face is preparing you for the opportunities that are meant for you. The people you surround yourself with shape more than just your social life. They shape your mindset, your confidence, your energy, and ultimately, your results. Your circle is one of the most powerful influences on your journey, so choosing it wisely is critical. Surround yourself with doers, not doubters, because the difference between the two can change the trajectory of your life. Doers are the people who take action, even when the path is uncertain. They don't just talk about goals, they work toward them. They don't waste time complaining, they focus on solutions. Being around doers is contagious. Their energy pulls you forward, inspires you to take risks, and challenges you to rise to their level. When you see someone building something from nothing, pushing through obstacles, or staying disciplined, it makes you want to do the same. Doubters, on the other hand, drain your momentum. They're the ones who say, "That's too hard," or "Why bother?" or "No one's ever done that before." Their words aren't based on wisdom, but on their own fears, which they project onto you. If you spend too much time with doubters, their mindset starts to seep in. You begin to hesitate, to shrink your dreams, to second-guess yourself. Over time, you might even start to believe that your goals are impossible. This doesn't mean doubters are bad people. Often, they're friends or family who care about you, but are stuck in a mindset of limitation. They might want to protect you, but their fear-based advice can hold you back. If you're trying to grow and they're comfortable staying still, you're moving in different directions. That gap will either pull you down or push you to find a new circle. Let's look at an example. Imagine you want to start a business. You share your idea with two groups of people. The first group, doubters, points out every risk. What if it fails? The market's too competitive. You don't have enough experience. The second group, doers, asks, "What's your next step? Have you considered this approach? Let's brainstorm solutions." The doubters make you question your ability. The doers make you believe in your potential. Which group will help you move forward? Your circle doesn't just influence your actions. It shapes your beliefs. If you're surrounded by people who see possibility, you'll start to see it too. If you're surrounded by people who see obstacles, you'll start to doubt yourself. This is why it's so important to choose people who inspire progress, not paralysis. Look for those who say, "Let's try," instead of "That'll never work." Seek out those who celebrate your wins, no matter how small, and challenge you to think bigger. How do you build a circle of doers? Start by evaluating your current relationships. Ask yourself, are these people pushing me forward or holding me back? Do they encourage my growth or amplify my doubts? This isn't about cutting people out of your life, but about being intentional with your time. Spend more energy with those who fuel your momentum and less with those who drain it. Next, seek out doers. Find people who are building something, whether it's a business, a skill, or a dream. Join communities, attend events, or connect online with those who share your ambitions. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone you admire. Most doers are happy to share their knowledge with someone who's willing to learn. It's also important to be a doer yourself. Your circle reflects who you are. If you're taking action, staying curious, and pushing through challenges, you'll naturally attract people who do the same. Show up as the kind of person you want in your life, and you'll find others who match that energy. Let's talk about the long-term impact. The people around you don't just influence your day to day, they shape the limits of your belief. A circle of doers makes action feel like the default. You start to see challenges as opportunities, risks as experiments, failures as lessons. This shift in mindset can change everything, turning dreams into realities. Finally, remember that your circle isn't just about what you get. It's about what you give. Be the person who encourages others, who celebrates their progress, who offers solutions instead of complaints. When you contribute to a circle of doers, you create a feedback loop of growth and inspiration that benefits everyone. So, take a hard look at your circle. Are they doers or doubters? Are they building or tearing down? Because the people around you don't just influence your journey, they shape the person you become. Choose wisely and surround yourself with those who make you believe that anything is possible.